Hello, everybody. I am coming to you this evening. I usually like when the sun's coming in through the window, but the evening is when there's the quiet moments. So this isn't fancy or anything, but it's not important. What's important is the message, and I hope that what I give you will be gold and of value to you. And so the reason why I wanted to do this was just because of the state of everything right now. In the last month or so, it's been a lot. It's been a lot of change. Things are moving very fast. There's a lot of stress for people, fear, uncertainty, anxiety. And I've experienced that myself for sure in some of these things. And it took me by surprise, and I had to remember and put into practice the methods and the tools and the practices which help me to regulate and understand and adjust and adapt and manage all of the things that come up, the anxieties, the fears around everything that's going on. So going to take you through a real process, my process, and yeah, I hope it'll be of value to you. And we'll go through the actual feelings as well. Like, I want to actually talk about some of these things to actually start to feel and experience a real shift in real time. And in the end, the main message that I'm getting across and will want to get across is the importance of our focus and how important it is to become conscious and aware of where we put our focus, because that is what shapes our reality, no matter what's going on externally. So, without further ado, let's start. What's happening? What's happening in the world? We've got our election in Canada. We've have the new Trump administration in the US. There's a lot of Americans that are very happy about it. There's a lot that are very upset. And I've tried to maintain a position of neutrality and detachment and understanding that there's contrast in everything in our world and in the universe, and knowing for all of the undesirable things that come as a result of the current changes, how those will transform into something better eventually. So we have the elections, we have the state of the economy, we have, AI progressing at an exponentially fast rate, changing everything, really. We have the climate changing and natural disasters and crises. We have supernatural events happening all around with UAPs and that's a sidebar. We'll get into that in a second. We've got the plane crashes that are happening. Yeah, my goodness, there's a lot going on, and it's felt like a lot of times, and I can see when I am on social how much it's affecting people in the comments. In reality, it's like people are mostly pretty present and pleasant and cordial and good with people, and online it's just like the flip. It's like there's just so much nastiness, and I don't like to think, but unfortunately I believe that's because that's a lot of subconscious that's coming out, because there's this mask and veil that people can really let out everything that they're festering inside, and it's so telling. And that's why it's so important, I believe, to understand our discomfort and where we're feeling uneasy about the state of things, and listening to what our fears are. They're there for a reason. There's things that are making us afraid because we're programmed for survival. And if it feels like something is threatening that, or threatening status quo, because in general we don't seem to like change, it's often something that's difficult to deal with, and we can get caught up with what we're focusing on, and how that brings down our energy and our vibration to a lower state. Whenever when we walk into a room, if you walk into a room, you can instantly feel the energy. How many of you out there experience that? You just go into a room and you can feel a certain energy there. You can feel a certain energy when you enter a town. You can feel a certain energy amongst a country. And I think people can feel the tension in our country and the US in particular right now, and in a lot of places around the world. And obviously, day to day, current events, all of that kind of stuff shifts as well. And right now, with Trump and the tariffs, that's putting a lot of strain on people and on businesses, and what's that going to look like, and the fears of how that'll affect bank accounts and groceries and all of these things. So a few things here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about some of what's going on. I'm going to talk about first my fears that have come up. And this isn't necessarily the practice to do, but let's just talk about them, because this is a 3D reality that we live in. And you'll see as we talk about this, what's going to happen is our energy and our vibration will drop. So let's get into the weeds a little bit. We've got Trump, who is imposing tariffs on Canada, 25% tariffs, talking about Canada becoming the 51st state. You're seeing people in the US, and there's a lot of people that are so supportive, and then there's a lot of people that supportive of Canada, and then there are a lot of people who are supportive of Trump, and you all see it, you all hear it. And watching Trudeau speak the other night, there's certain things that I like. There's certain things I like in terms of keeping things diplomatic and not escalating. That's a wise and smart thing to do. Not try and one up or double down. We don't need more escalation. And then there's other things, like when it comes to the question of Trump increasing tariffs because of border protection and fentanyl and immigrants coming over. That's not the issue. It's not the real issue. He doesn't really care about that, I don't believe. Because if he did, he wouldn't do a 10% tariff on China and a 25% tariff on Canada, the neighbor that exports all these things. And when China's the one that's coming with the raw ingredients where the fentanyl comes from my understanding and learning. If a neighbor comes to your door and wants to take over your house and you say no, and then they're offended by that fact, that stirs up some feelings. It did for me, for sure. And I think that if someone wants, if they want to do things on their own and create more production within the U.S., great. We're going to have to do the same. We've got all of these things we can go back and forth with, and obviously the concern is about military action. How far can it go? And I'm sure that's where he's actually going to be. What he's actually doing is just testing the limits, just like in the inauguration when he didn't put his hand on the Bible. And I don't know how many people in the U.S. are just brushing off that fact that he just blatantly didn't put his hand on the Bible, which I don't think it's a big deal. It's just the symbolism of it all. It's the intention behind it, which is how much can I get away with, abolishing basically the whole government. I think that sure, there's so much corruption in the government, but what are we doing? Replacing corruption with corruption. It's looking more like a Russian oligarchy with, you've got all the top billionaires at the inauguration, allowing the top to be blown off on AI and getting rid of regulations so it can grow so quickly. Elon in his early interviews used to talk about AI and the dangers of it and how it could inevitably overtake humanity. And yet he's just ready and willing to just produce as much as possible. I want to make babies, everyone make babies in America. Like, the problem with the world is we're growing too fast. We're overpopulated. We're just destroying our planet and pillaging all the natural resources for this capitalist mass consumer system that doesn't work because it's not sustainable. This isn't going to solve the economy. The tariffs aren't going to solve the economy. There's always been peaks and valleys, but and I'm sure that this will create a dip right now, and then there will be a temporary rise. But this system doesn't really work, and the people that are heading it really don't care about the people. Who in all of this is losing the most? It's the majority of the working class. It's not the billionaires. They're doing great. Because behind the government, that's who really runs things, who has the major contracts. Sure, prices are going to go up. We've got the military concerned, and if they wanted to, it would obviously take a lot, but with aggressive force takeover, I'm going to cut it there. I'm going to cut it there. The energy and vibration has dropped officially, focusing on all these things, which is reality. This is our reality. And I don't think that it's wise to be completely ignorant to it all. But there is no right or wrong. It depends on the individual. For some people in their levels of anxiety, it would be very wise to stay away from social media and the news as much as possible. For others, it might be extremely wise to read a few articles, watch a few videos outside of their usual algorithm or comfort zone to get some different sides and perspectives. I have concerns. I have concerns about, I have a son. I have concerns about the future for him. And I believe that we have to stay informed. But it's so easy when there's so much of it happening right now to get wrapped up in all of this and get sucked in. And my energy has dropped talking about it and focusing on it. And so then the key is having to turn it around, to bring it back. I am turning my focus to laughing about it and releasing, because there are certain things which we can control and certain things which we can't. I feel like we all play a role in this society, and we all have a part to play. As a collective, we can create change. And I think that that's the most important thing to remember amongst all of this. And if you look back in history at all of the most difficult, challenging times, it's people coming together, rising up together in unity for a better future that created the most positive shifts. So there is fear, there is uncertainty, And in most cases, though, that's future based. Sure, the things are imposed right now and this, but if you just actually just be here in this moment right now, like if for me in this moment right now, I'm sitting at my desk. It is a peaceful night outside. I'm breathing. I'm looking at the artwork and pens and markers and things on my table. I can hear vehicles outside. I'm bringing it back to this present moment right now. And in this present moment, everything is okay. I'm alive. I'm not starving. I'm physically well and fine. And then one of the things as well to do is do some breath work. So right now, if you're with me and you're listening, take a deep breath in. Take another. Again, 6 seconds in and 6 seconds out. For the purpose of this video, I'm just going to leave it at a few breaths. But I hope with just a couple breaths, you could feel some sort of a shift. If you go 10 minutes, you'll feel that much more. If you do 20 minutes, even more. 30 minutes, even more. Whatever it takes to regulate the nervous system. And there are so many different types of breath work out there. And if you haven't, I invite you to look and explore and give some different ones a try. Find someone that you like their voice and the sound of their voice, and go through a few different ones. You can easily type in breath work for nervous system regulation, breath work for future manifestation. There's all types of things that we have available for us right now. And meditation has played a huge part for me as well. I usually meditate twice a day, at least, and that really helps me regulate, return to center, and come home. And often in that meditation and this focus on the present and being aware of the sights, the sounds, the things that we're feeling coming back into our body, not being out there but coming back within. In this instance, that you start to regulate. There's other times when there's actually stress in the body, and it's sometimes beneficial to come outside of the body and see the bigger picture, and we'll get to that. But also in this meditation, focusing on gratitude and the things that we have to be grateful for. Now, the number one thing for me right now, and will always be, is my son. I'm so grateful for my son, and that he's healthy and he's well and here, and he always brings me back to center And if he was with me, in the waking stress, he is such a anchor to ground me and bring me back to this present reality, because children are just so much in the present. So even if you don't have a child, connecting with your inner child inside you, just being present, being present with what's in front of you and having fun. What do kids like to do? Have fun. That's where they're constantly moving. Where is the next point in fun? And somewhere along the way, we lose that. Sure, we have responsibilities and things we have to do, but we can't lose that. We can't lose the fun and operating in fun and this whole game of life that we're in. I've talked about this before. This is just a human experience. That's all it is. Nothing really matters that much. We can always shift our perspective and come outside of this body, outside of these four walls, and raise up higher above this town that we're in, or this city, up higher above our state, our province, our country, above this planet, and just observe. We are so small, and this experience will be over one day, and then we'll move on to the next thing. And going deeper there is a whole other talk, podcast, chat. But I think you know what I mean, and how we can connect with our higher selves, with a higher intelligence, with energy and peace, and become detached and just observe what's happening all around. To detach our emotions from it and observe, okay, this is what's happening. There's contrast everywhere. There's nighttime, daytime, there's storms, there's calm, and it's all happening at the same time. And none of it's happening at all. Which brings me to the reframing and how we frame all of these things happening. So if we go back, we talk about the economy, we talk about the tariffs, and we talk about the border. All right, well, this is an opportunity for us to realize that we have to work together within our country. We have to work better amongst our provinces within our country and become more self-sustainable, which is great. We'll have to focus on increasing our border protection and defense, which is great, to protect what we have. We'll have to create new solutions. Businesses will have to create new solutions, and I'm not saying that things won't come without some pain. Groceries, some things will become really expensive. That'll be tough. We'll have to maybe make some sacrifices or forgo purchases, or better, buy locally. Think about the people locally, fellow Canadians that you're going to get to support. This economy isn't sustainable in general. Capitalism and the GDP and this whole system, it doesn't work if we project ahead on this current path without things being stirred up and changed. it doesn't look good. You know, it's just this consumerist drill, baby, drill, chop everything down, mine. Like, it's not sustainable, and it's not sustainable for our planet, for the climate. The polar caps are melting. The tides are rising. Trump's building a wall around his his golf course in Florida because of the rising tides. Like, it's temperatures are record highs in the summer. We've got all this increase in storms and activity, and okay, the climate is changing. I'm starting to go backwards down the other route here. My point is that this is an opportunity for us to really look at how we can operate better in a more sustainable way. How we can look at different forms of renewable energy, which they exist and they're out there. And hopefully in these next few years, things are going to come to light, the renewable energy that has been invented, that is out there, and that's being safeguarded from us. So let's just keep visualizing and looking forward to this better way that's coming ahead. You know, I go into AI as well and the concerns around it, but I'm going to leave that for another one, and the UAPs as well. I've actually recorded a video on YouTube. You can probably search my name and UAPs and find it, where I talk about everything that's happening there. But so I'll leave that one to the side and save that for another video. But ultimately, at the bottom of it all, you know, we're all people, we're all humans, and you know, it's not, let's not start dividing more and speaking with our fear talking and hatred to another side. Like, we're all one, and let's not get divided and focus on them and us. There are so many people that have, you know, different beliefs or preferences, that have so many valid opinions, and we need to just be able to respect each other. And that seems like a no-brainer. That seems like a no-brainer, but when you scroll through comments and see the way that people talk to people, and like, whew, regulate. And so that's why I'm doing this here, to just encourage everyone to lead with love and not fear, and regulate those emotions, know what's going on, keep coming back to your center, and finding that inner calm and that inner peace, and focusing on love and what we have and what we're grateful for, and focusing on where we can shift our energy. It's the evening here, so I'm in a bit of a peaceful, calm state, but it wouldn't take much for me to pick up my energy, go do a workout, go outside for a walk. If you're watching this, you're on your phone right now, so I hope that this has brought you some peace, and after this video is done, you can put your phone down so that you don't watch something else that will trigger you or put you back into the other state. Because man, I've been doing blocks on my phones, on my phone and apps now, because I've become aware of just, it doesn't even matter what the content is. It doesn't even have to be that bad, but it's just energy draining. And speaking of phone and technologies, literally electromagnetic radiation coming out of that is not good for our bodies, and that is going to be the future thing that comes out. This is going to be it's going to be the thing that has affected our health for so long, and that was kept from us. So there is stuff out there, Aries technology, which is like a little chip thing that helps transform the magnetic energy. It doesn't just block it, because then it can find a way around. Anyway, sidebar. And last but not least is the action component. When we're feeling fear and anxiety and stress, there is one thing that we can always do, and that's also take action. We can take action towards a change that we feel that we need to make, because if there is some sort of stress, or if there is some sort of anxiety, it's most often around something that we just need to do, and we're not doing it, and we have to do it. And taking that action can help us feel more secure, because we're taking action in this 3D reality towards the outcome that we want. So whether that's in business and creating, new partners within the country, or finding, new service providers, or, raw resources, whatever it is, whether it's groceries, whether it's, you're looking for a different brand that's made in Canada now, or buying something that's alternative, that's taking some kind of action. And, maybe not buying US, or if it costs more, and splurging, be abundant and spend 25% more on that thing too. Like, everything always works out. Everything isn't taken all away. Things always come back around. And we just have to stay positive with how we're looking at everything. And keep grounded, and keep the focus on love and family. So with that, thanks for listening. I hope this was useful to you. There's so much more that has gone on with me internally with this whole process, and I hope I've just conveyed it in a way that is meaningful and helpful. I'm launching a private Facebook membership group, a private support community, that I can do more videos like this, and in a community where people can post, and we'll do some live coaching calls where people can come on, on a group call, and ask specific questions, and we can go through some of these practices together. And I just want to transfer everything that I've learned and I know that's helped me, and I'm just so passionate about this journey in life, and our unlimited potential, and basically reconnecting with our true self, our highest self, and aligning with our soul, and our purpose, and our calling, and all of that, which gives us energy and gets us motivated, so that we can all have more frequent joy and happiness, and more frequent feelings of peace and gratitude and calm, and be able to be your own home, your own center, your own source of energy and all that's good, and not be so influenced by everything on the outside. So if you're interested in that, if you go onto my website, there is under the group coaching, you'll see the Facebook membership there, or drop me a line, or comment. I'll put the link in this as well. All right. Blessings. Everyone have a great evening, and thank you for listening, and I hope this was helpful for you.